Here are some fabric samples from my first project I ever did in college. These first 3 are done with a heat press. So I would paint a design with dispersed dye on transfer paper, then I'd put the paper and fabric into the heat press machine, which would use high temperature and pressure to transfer the dye onto the fabric. This sample was made using an ice dyeing technique. To do this, I placed a bag of ice over the fabric and then spread powdered dye over the ice, so as the ice melted it would mix with the dye and create a unique pattern. This one was done using the technique batik. This technique originally comes from Indonesia. This technique uses hot wax to resist the color of the dye, so I used a janting, which is the tool used to apply the melted wax to the parts of the fabric I wanted to stay white. I then added the different colored dye to the areas I wanted, and after everything had dried, I used a piece of paper and iron to melt all the wax off the fabric. This sample was done by folding the fabric into a triangle and then stitching across sideways, pulling it really tight to create creases in the fabric that the dye wouldn't get to, so those areas would stay white. Similar to the last one, these two were done by folding the fabric like a fan and then wrapping thread around it, pulling it tight to make areas in the fabric that the dye wouldn't get to. Let me know which ones you guys liked the most.